Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Let's see. Hi, BRT. I'm glad you're here. Michael and Melinda will be joining me in a few minutes. They're a few minutes behind me, but we're still going to get started. Today, we are going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of The Tiger King. So this should be an interesting discussion. We decided to break it up into 3 different parts so we don't have to try and cover the whole series at once. So today we're going to cover episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then next Sunday we will cover 4 and 5, and then the Sunday after that we will cover the last 2 episodes. That way everybody has plenty of time to watch everything and everybody will know what's going on. And the reason we decided to do this is because right now this is a very hot topic. It is all over the place. So we decided to cover it. And we know there's a lot of mixed feelings out there. Some people can't handle this. Some people can. But you got to strike while the iron is hot. So that is what we are doing. Let's see. Who do we have right now? We've got BRT. It's good to see you. Let's see. And who else? We got Mike Getney. Hi, Mike. How you doing? And we got Miss Debbie. It's good to see everybody. Like I said before, we're waiting on Michael and Melinda. They're running about 5-10 minutes behind me, but they will be here soon. And then we will start our discussion. So have any of you in the comments started watching this? And if so, what are your thoughts thus far? I have my feelings on it because I'm a big animal person. Doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. I'm a big animal lover, and I personally am not happy with any of the people that are involved in this, but we'll discuss that later as we start getting into the discussion, because I'm sure we have different ideas about all of this. So, but I'm baffled by these people and the idea of owning big cats. I just don't understand it. Oh, here we have everybody. Here's the rest of our group.
I'm almost ready.
Hey.
Oh, you're live?
Yeah, well, I actually started, so you guys are
good. Hello, everybody. I'll be right there.
All right.
Hi, Julie.
Nice makeup, Mel.
It's face tattoos. I stole them from my kids. The joy of having kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See my final tiger face? Yeah, it's cool. Thank
All
you.
right, so right now we have BRT, of course. We have
Hey, Big Red.
We've got Mike Gedney is here today.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, long time no see. And of course we have Miss Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Tiger Queen, yep, that's her. So I was just telling everybody what
I want to be. Wait, if I get to pick a cat to be, I don't want to be a tiger. I want to be Chitara.
Chitara?
Yes.
All right. We all talk about.
I like the snow leopards.
Oh, that's.
I do.
That's
I
how
like
this whole
the
damn thing got started.
Oh, wow, Michael, we're both thinking on the same page because we're both wearing.
What is the matter with your face? Oh, you're tiger. I see now.
We're both wearing our Ravenclaw shirts today.
No, I'm wearing Wicked.
Oh, you are? Okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, now I feel bad. I should have put my Gryffindor shirt on. But we can't do that till Di's here. We have to do that together with Di.
It's my favorite Broadway song of all
okay.
time. No good deed. No good deed goes unpunished.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I even have a sweatshirt for that song too.
All right, so
what were you saying before we started?
I was just basically letting them know what we're going to be discussing because we're starting with the first 3 episodes and then we're breaking it up.
So, a couple breaking news items for everybody just before we start. There looks to be an alleged new episode coming next week of Tiger King.
Really?
Jeff Lowe, the person that took over the zoo from him there towards the end.
Yeah.
He's reported to the trades, to Variety and stuff, Dateline and everything today, that they were there filming, or they're going to be there filming for a follow-up, and that the episode is going to air as early as next week. That's what he said. Again, just reporting what he said.
I was going to say
all the major magazines are reporting it. So usually when they report it, they confirm their sources first before they report a bunch of bullshit.
Well,
the Variety and Dateline and Entertainment Weekly and all that are reporting it.
Are they actually going to continue the story? Because I know a lot of stuff has come out since this whole thing started.
Because he said they were doing updates on Corona while they were there. So it goes all the way up to current.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
So we do know that Joe Exotic has coronavirus. He's been transferred to a medical facility out of his prison.
Yeah.
The whole prison had an outbreak where he was at.
Yeah, well, that's normal. You would think that would happen because close quarters, everybody's, together.
Oh, yeah, prisons are bad. New Kasabi, you knock that over. And then heard today that AMC theaters, as of June, will be completely gone. They will be defunct by June. Yeah, aww. They went into coronavirus with a $3 billion deficit because of the big expansion that they were doing. Yeah.
Wow.
So they couldn't weather a month, much less through June. They said June is their
end of their
Cinemark? June is like not banking safe. June
Cinemark? What about Cinemark?
AMC.
No, I know. I'm just saying, is that going to happen to Cinemark too? Then
no, Regal and Cinemark, those are different theaters. This is AMC specific.
Right.
AMC just went through that whole big new expansion. Unless the government bails them out, which is possible, who knows?
Right.
Or the movie industry bails them out, who knows? But for themselves, they have reported today that they can't survive past June. Not even through a bankruptcy, they can't survive. Period. Past June.
Wow.
The world will be a different place. I don't see the movie industry saving them. I don't know. Would they? Maybe. Because the movie industry, they make a fortune off of movies in theaters.
Yeah, I personally think that the movie industry can recover from this in most instances, not all of them, but
some studios can recover from this, like Sony and Universal and all the companies that are owned by a different conglomerate that's not being affected right now. Like Sony's got Sony, Entertainment and in gaming and stuff. They're not being affected by this crisis.
Right.
You got Universal. I believe it's Universal is owned by AT&T. AT&T is obviously not being affected by this crisis. So those studios, the smaller studios, they'll pull through just fine. Actually, surprisingly, the only real big one, Warner's got Time Warner behind them. But is Disney. Disney's the only one that's in trouble. And Disney is up against a wall, getting ready to face a buyout.
Okay,
very likely that somebody jumps the gun and buys Disney right out from underneath them.
So back to the Tiger King. Debbie says that we should do a drinking game. Every time someone says Carol Baskin, take a shot and smash your glass down, shouting, "That bitch!"
That bitch.
And Debbie said, "Have y'all saw that interview with husband number one? Got him some new teeth and a new shirt."
Yeah.
He finally put on a shirt. He's got himself brain.
You're so funny.
They said that he's had his new teeth, and they filmed stuff with his new teeth.
But they just didn't want to do it. Yeah. But
they were obviously going for a look.
All the people involved in this are just I don't.
So
It-
let's go over 1 through 3. Let's start with
okay.
1. What kind of
Well, let's
happens?
go
What
over-
story starts
well,
for people who
we
don't
got
know?
the key
People might
players
be
just to
watching
introduce
this so
you.
they know if they want to watch it.
Right.
Yeah, so let's go over the key points, the key players, just right from the jump. Is the story evolves basically around a feud. It's like a Hatfield and McCoy feud.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a better words, you've got this man by the name of Joe Exotic. He's got this big old long ass name, but he goes by Joe Exotic. He is a
Yeah. He
gay,
actually changed
mullet
his name.
wearing, gun
A
toting.
lot of them actually change their name. You find that out in the second episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gay. He's pro guns. He's pro
Oh,
anti-animal
he's more than pro gun. Damn,
rights
he was talking
wearing.
about
He's
making the
batshit
next
crazy. Huh?
Waco.
Yeah.
He's
It's crazy.
crazy all around.
Bleach blonde, dyed hair,
And
Mullet
then you've got
action. Yeah.
his
and proud of it.
the person that he's feuding with is Carol Baskin, that bitch. And she is supposed, and I use that term very, very loosely, supposed the animal activist, the animal activist of the show. She's the one that is the do-gooder. She's going to do all right and save the world, and she's no better than the rest of them.
Nope.
So that's the premise of where we start. Is you got this one guy who owns a zoo full of freaking exotic animals, mostly tigers, but full of different types of exotic animals and
Right.
Yeah,
alligators,
mostly
monkeys,
big cats.
big cats. Yeah,
Just big.
and then you
big.
got Carol, who supposedly runs a sanctuary for the same type
Supposed
of
to.
animals.
That's how they started. Is that she runs this big cat sanctuary? What is it?
Sanctuary.
Big Cats Rescue.
Was
Uh-huh.
it just me, or was it all y'all that her animals were caged tighter?
Oh my
than
God!
exotic animals?
Well, and you looked at the weeds and the trees and everything else, and it was just like,
Yeah, her little sanctuary is freaking worse than transport
She
cages.
treats her animals just as bad as the rest of them do.
Worse, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we can start on that because
Well, plus we have
You got
Doc
the point.
Randall.
well, hold on. So that's the basic feud is because Carol Baskins, that bitch, she she wants to shut down. She's focused on Joe Exotic. She wants to shut down his zoo because if she has a villain to fight, she can maintain the illusion that she's a sanctuary.
Right.
So long as she is ahead of her own game, going to politics and going to the newspapers and showing all the negativity of these other places, it's like keeping the eyeball off of her, so she can continue to be the save the world queen, right?
Yeah.
Then we introduced Doc Antle, who is another batshit crazy motherfucker. He's another one that runs a big cat zoo sanctuary, whatever the hell you want to call it.
He runs it. It's in, what is it, Florida or something?
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Exotics is in Oklahoma,
Uh-huh.
and Doc Angeles is in Florida, and Carol Baskins is in Oklahoma as well.
I believe so, yeah.
That's what it seemed to me. And so Doc Antle is like the godfather of all this stuff. He's the one that's kind of always been around. He's the one that's been most successful.
Yeah.
He's the one that's had this big, celebrity-esque type showing on this industry, so-called industry. And all of the exotic cat people, they all look up to Doc Antle. He's the godfather. He's this
Yeah.
guru. And this all of them, what's very interesting, so he's not quite directly into the feud, even though Carol Baskins is focused on
No,
him as well.
he's
He's not the focus. Joe Exotic is the focus, but you've got the Godfather kind of overseeing this that we keep referring back to because he's
Yeah.
the one that kind of always set the standard for this kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we start, and that's
Yeah.
kind of who it is.
Maybe
And the
those-
documentary actually starts with the introduction of why we have a documentary, because we come to find out that there's two men responsible for this. One is a guy that, and I forget his name. I thought one was maybe one was in Georgia. I forget.
Maybe
I don't remember all. It seemed like it's all down the street from each other, but it's all different states.
Yeah.
Weird.
Different states.
There's one guy that Joe Antle, and I forget his name, and I should have brought up the IMDb to get everybody's names, but there's a guy that Joe Antle hires years ago to take over his online show and create a reality television show on top of that. So this guy has been filming. This guy has been filming everything. He's been
Oh,
Yeah,
documenting
Joe wants everything filmed.
everything. He wants
everything
everything filmed.
in the midst of this, up to recently, there was a reporter that came onto the scene, and he was interested in this. What was it? The white
The snow leopard.
Snow
It
leopard.
all started with the snow leopard.
Well, it all started at an alligator park. He was looking at alligators, Joe Exotic's alligators, and then he comes to find out that there's a snow leopard in this truck in this holding bin. And the guy's like, "What is in there?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my snow leopard." Da da da. And he goes to show him, and so this guy who was interested in alligators at first, doing a story on
No,
alligators.
but and let me point out, he tells the guy, he's like, doesn't it need to be in cold temperatures? Because guy, it's in a hot van. And the guy goes, oh no, it's born and raised here, so it's used to
The
it.
middle of summer, and
Oh,
it's
it's
stuck
crazy.
in
No
the back
ignorance. Regardless if that was a normal animal that was used to this temperature, being in that hot ass van riding around, like that's just like that's not
That is
normal. That you don't do that.
So that's where this what's the guy's name? This is the director of the documentary. Anyway, he gets involved, and he goes down to the farm or goes down to the zoo and checks it out, and he finds out that this is a batshit crazy world. And he's like, oh my god, they're filming everything. They've got all these exotic animals. They've got freaking all these different weird cult like relationships and all this crazy shit. And he's like, we got to make a movie on this. Or we got to do something good. Television show movie. So he gets Joe, because Joe Exotic will do anything for TV or anything for fame or anything, whatever.
Right.
So he gets Joe Exotic all hyped up.
Joe also has his own, what starts out as a small little TV show, and then
I
guy
talked about that. I said,
show.
that guy came in to take over his internet show,
take over his internet
make a
channel.
reality show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
because
where
the
we're
guy had a background in marketing and broadcasting and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everything of these people's lives is filmed. It's batshit crazy. I mean, every conversation that they have, every time they quote unquote abuse one of these animals, anytime they abuse each other.
It's all documented.
All on video. It's all documented for any court and any public eye to see. It's nuts. So just pulling it up here so I get some people's names right. I don't want to. I mean, this is a real story. We should get people's names right.
Right.
So as I'm doing, here he goes, Tiger King. There we go. All right. So the filmmaker his name is, who the fuck knows? Netflix can't read anything. Oh wait, here we go. I can't see. Trailers are more.
Here, let me
episodes.
Let me multitask here. I'll pull it up and see what.
I know. I pulled it up on the worst possible thing. I pulled it up on Netflix. Still looking at on IMDb.
Yeah, we're normally really.
I was just running late today. I was going to pull this up. So anyway, so this documentary guy, he decides that he's going to make a movie, make a film, make a TV show, whatever he's going to make, right?
Right.
And so he sets up camp and he starts doing it. And of course, in the beginning here, Joe is just beside himself. He's going to be a big movie star, and he's going to be, world famous, and he's going to be the best, big cat person in the planet. He's going to be the new Doc Antle, and everybody's going to be jealous of him, right? So he's living high on his horse, and so he starts getting high on his horse right from the jump, and that's what fuels the whole his whole being really, really, really out and vocal about this Carol Baskin, that bitch thing. Okay, he starts really getting brave about these death threats to her. He starts going on TV, and he starts director. Here we go. We're home.
All right, the filmmaker on this, his name is Eric Good.
Yeah, Eric Good. Yeah, he's the one that saw the white snow leopard.
Right.
Do this documentary.
Debbie had a couple comments about one about Doc and the documentary guy. You might want to read those real quick.
The producer, the one that took over like his
Rick
television show thing, who actually recorded everything. His name is Rick Kirkman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got pulled up here too. Okay, so we can keep that up. What did Debbie say?
Let's see.
All right. Debbie says, y'all saw the new interviews. Husband saw that slam. I was drinking game. Um,
Let's
I thought
see.
one of the Zooms was in Georgia. Yeah, probably. I don't know. We gotta look it up. Okay, here we go. The doc is creepy as fuck. I think he fucks tigers probably. Did I say that? My friend in Florida thinks Carol is the biggest criminal of all. She says she knows Carol was hooking, no shame. When she met
Uh,
Don, probably the woman will do anything for money. It seems, including kill her rich ex-husband. Yeah, maybe talk about
yeah.
how rich he was before he died and how much money she got when he died. Wasn't it in the millions?
Here's our other one.
Documentarian dude in the safari hat looked like he eats people. Definitely the biggest baddie of the bunch. He gave me the willies. I don't know. I thought the documentary guy, not
The guy
Eric
that
Good, the other one,
the
Rick
guy that filmed
Kirkman.
it.
I thought
Yeah.
Rick Kirkman was pretty sincere. Um,
Yeah.
he seemed
Actually,
one
I
of the
agree.
more normal ones to me. Eric Good, did we see a lot of on screen?
No,
I
we
don't think
didn't
we
really
heard
see
his
a lot
voice.
of. We did in
Yeah,
the
we heard his
beginning,
voice.
but then it was basically Kirkman that we saw
Yeah,
because
they
he,
were always interviewing Kirkman because he was the one talking about all the stuff that he filmed, and
yeah,
he seemed at least clear enough to know what he was talking about, clear enough to know the good versus the bad based on behaviors that were happening there. Granted,
hmm
he did nothing to stop it. He just continued to exploit it and sensationalize all that stuff. But he still seemed like he had somewhat of a conscience or somewhat of a clear thought on it.
yeah.
I don't know. It could have just been me in the midst of all this crazy.
I just have a hard time with these people basically breeding these cats for exploitation, to where
Oh, somebody
I'll,
look that up because I was going to look up that statistic. Is they said a statistic in the show of how many tigers or big cats are kept in captivity in America or in the world versus how many are out in the wild, and
mhm.
it's startling. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
I mean,
startling
I can
the number
understand
difference.
if it's an endangered species, if you're raising the cats to put them out into the wild, you know,
Mhm.
I understand that part. But if you're breeding them strictly to keep them in captivity
Or to kill them
or
before they
kill
get
them,
old enough because you want cubs.
yeah,
That's
that's
what's
just
going. We'll talk about that in a minute.
ugh, that's just criminal.
Yeah, it's insane. The amount of breeding that these guys, both of them did through the course of their zoos or whatever was just absolute, and it was all for fame. It was all for money. It was all for
I know.
exploitation. It has nothing to do with not a single one of those tigers or big cats. Okay, so we'll get to all that crazy shit in a second. So they start filming. They start going
Mhm.
over the daily life, and in this first episode, I believe we learn in somebody. I watched them all in one binge, so somebody please
I
correct
did
me
too.
when I'm wrong. In this first part of this one through three episodes, we start learning about all the different people that are at the Joe Exotic farm or zoo.
hmm
Um,
All of his employees.
yeah, so we get introduced. Well, we get introduced to Joe, which is husband number one. Joe Exotic. No, dude, what's his
Yeah.
name? John.
John. John is husband number one.
John is
Yeah.
husband number one. Um, Joe Exotic has two husbands at the time of this
At the
documentary.
time of this, yeah.
He'll have another one later, but he has two right
Mhm.
now, and married at the same time. Um, and they got
There's
married. All three of them got married
there's
together.
John and Travis.
Well,
The,
Travis will show up later in a little bit, but when the things just starts, it's just John for the beginning,
right.
and John's you instantly when they first start interviewing John, you instantly get a sense of this is kind of cultish. It's what is this guy besides the allure of big cats? What does this guy have that's so special to offer this other guy? And we come to find out it's
Mhm.
meth and it's it's drugs and it's money and
Yeah.
security and whatever. But and what we alarmingly find out later is neither one of his first two husbands were gay. They
Yeah,
were
they're both great.
straight. Yeah, they were both straight, and they were both having different affairs with women on the side. They were just with Joe Exotic for the drugs and the money
Yeah.
and what the notoriety. So again, for whatever reason, they were lured into this in a very cult like type behavior.
Right.
So that's just John. We're only both covering John so far, and then we
Mhm.
got what's her name? She's introduced fairly early. Let me pronounce her name right. It is Keely Sefri, the one that lost an arm.
Oh yeah, that's the one that lost the arm.
Yeah, she was a hand at the zoo. She was a
Yeah,
cat handler at the zoo, and it's on freaking tape that one of these cats mauled her and
and just
screwed her
took her
arm up pretty
entire
bad.
arm.
And she's so committed to this zoo and to Joe that she was in the hospital in a matter of
7 days.
days.
She was in the hospital 7 days, and then she came back
She
to
had
work.
asked for her arm to be amputated instead of going through all the rehab and all the cosmetics and stuff to because they could have fixed her arm, they could have saved her arm or
Mhm.
part of her arm or some
Yeah,
shit. They could have saved it.
and she
She
chose.
decided no. She needed to get back to work because Joe needed her, or she needed Joe, or yeah, Joe needed her, and so she had them amputate her arm, and within 7 days she was back at the working.
Yeah,
Bad shit. I just well, and then when you hear her talk, she vocally and visually presents as the sanest person in this show, and
she does.
she's absolutely totally brainwashed, totally just slipped down the dark side, and she seems so intelligent, she seems so put together, and it's like what are you doing, my God? So that's her.
Did we lose Mel? What happened?
Oh yeah, I think so. Mel, where'd you go?
Where'd you go, Mel?
Anyway, so then we have a couple other handlers. We've got John Renicky and Eric, and there's a bunch of
That
guys
actually.
that were there. They don't matter. These other ones come in later. Yeah. So really, really the gist of what we need from Joe's Zoo in the beginning is he's got a lot of these employees that are there that are kind of brainwashed, and they're under really cruel employee working conditions. Didn't they say they all had they had to sleep in like a little barn or a little shed or some shit.
Yeah,
Something crazy.
that was part of Doc. That
Was
was
it
part
not?
of Doc's
No, I
story.
think,
Yeah, that was part of Doc's story.
is it?
The fact that he had like
The box
all
was
the people.
$100.
Yeah, that was all Doc. There she is.
This is all Doc. Okay, well,
Yeah,
That was all Doc.
right. My mic stopped working, and I had to restart my phone.
so it's weird working conditions on it. We'll get to Doc in a minute. But what's really important to take from Joe's exotic side is number one is he is fame crazy. He's
Yes.
absolutely a fame whore. He wants anything for recognition, and he's batshit crazy too. On top of that,
Oof.
and uh he knows he's like a cult leader. He knows how to lure all these people in with whatever enticing thing that they need to get him to work for him for as a mere penance and do the danger work and to do and to be loyal. That's this one thing about all these crazy dictators is they command loyalty, and Joe got it from the jump. Joe got it from his people. And then also we need to learn from Joe is that he is starting to fuel this hatred for this Carol Baskin, that bitch woman, Debbie. He starts fueling
The fire.
locally through the different documentaries and stuff. He starts spouting off at the mouth, really on TV and on video and anywhere he gets spout it. These crazy horrific things he's going to do to this lady, and then we'll get into their story in a minute. So let's go over Doc Antle. He's the other zoo owner. He's the godfather. He's like the big guru of this mess, and he's got like 5 wives. He like the
No, nine.
It was 4 wives.
9, 5 girlfriends.
Huh?
Yeah, and everybody.
9 wives, 5 girlfriends.
Is it 9 wives?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, who could keep track? Yeah. Anyway, what's interesting about him is he thinks he is above the rest. He's convinced that he's above the rest. He's convinced he's on the up and up, and that everybody else is doing all this crazy stuff, and they're falling by the wayside. And they should have learned from me, and they should have got their shit together. But no, Doc Antle, I'm the best. That's why. Oh, why do you think all these women are here? Why do you think all this great stuff?
Yeah, and his whole situation, it's like being in a cult because it's all beautiful women and all this.
That's exactly what it is.
It's more
cult. It's more cult than even Joe's Zoo.
Yeah.
At Joe's Zoo, you walk into Joe's Zoo, and it's like batshit crazy. It's like, okay, some nut shit. You walk into Doc Antle's Zoo without spending much of time with Doc Antle, you get a sense this is kind of a normal functioning thing. This is kind of, They got animals, walking around kind of in the wild, and they've got, Doc Antle running around on an elephant, and you got chimpanzees everywhere, and it's like, oh, this is kind of fun, kind of cool. You got these beautiful women who are, servicing the animals and luring in the crowd, and they're all got smiles on their face, and everybody's well dressed, and everybody's well kept, and this is before
Is that what they call it now? Servicing the animals?
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's what they call it now, I guess.
And so they, on the outside, from any visitor coming in or any inspector coming in, it looks like a happy place. It looks, until you start talking to Doc Hansel for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you're like, listening to this guy for just 5 minutes, I would rather listen to Joe for 5 hours than this douchebag for like 5 minutes, because not only is he very, very, very godfathery, very cultish, he's also got a real condescending air about him. There's a real, almost a mean streak in him. And it's like, get over yourself, dude. Get back on your elephant and ride into the sunset. So he's most likely, this documentary does not go into it.
No.
But he is most likely just as in over his head in corruption that the rest of these people are. There has been accusations against him. There's been some accusations about his narcissism. Exactly, absolutely. There's some accusation about him breeding and killing tiger cubs.
Yeah, once they reach an age that you can't use them anymore. Yeah.
There's probably some illegal stuff on sales. There's probably some illegal stuff on money laundering and stuff. Who knows? There's some dirty shit going on in that place. Because specifically, we get to meet, I don't think it's the first episode, but maybe the second episode, we get to meet a woman who used to be a girlfriend wife of Doc Antle.
That's the second episode, yeah.
She's away from the zoo. She's living her own life. She has moved on.
Yeah, she got out of it.
Unwrapping the book. Anytime you see these cult people, anytime you see these cult people that have escaped or have able to look at it, through a looking glass, you start to see the stuff unravel. And she's the one that reveals the working conditions that Doc Antle had put in place.
The behind the scenes, dirty
women.
Yeah, and this is all episode 2, which is called Cult of Personality.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're even calling it a cult for the second episode. So one side you got a kind of a cult with some batshit crazy wacko jackos kind of stuff going on. And this other one you got a real cult. This real sick stuff. Then you got Carol Baskin, that bitch, crazy in the middle. Okay.
Debbie said young women, vulnerable people,
I think she's the worst.
No ties. He carefully selected
all his people.
He carefully selected and groomed those girls to worship him. Tiger sex.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's with all the women, all the cult stuff. He handpicked that mess.
Well, yeah, and he pays them $100 a week.
Yeah.
And works them like dogs.
And you guys, Debbie points out that Staff is a trans man. They misgendered him throughout the show.
Who?
Staff.
Who?
Hold on, I'm trying to remember who that is.
You mean Keely? The one that lost the arm?
Are you talking about the one that lost their arm, Deb?
Oh yeah, Safri. Keely Safri.
Yeah.
Color Staff, I guess. Yeah, well maybe that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So
I didn't really pay attention to that, but
woman trans to man?
Possibly, because I wasn't really paying attention to that, but
I didn't hear that. But yeah, she still seems.
I can see that.
Good on her. Okay, so that's weird that she would allow that.
Talking about
usually trans people are really, really on top of that. It would be very strange that she would allow that. Anyway, so you got Carol Baskin, that bitch in the middle. Let me talk about that bitch. This crazy bitch. She preys on the legal system, the morality system. She's going to be the savior. She's got that Jesus complex, which makes her more sinister than the rest of them, because she is doing just as bad, if not worse, animal cruelty and work and confinement and manipulation and everything on top of that with just her business. We don't talk about her murdering, just her
No,
business.
that's down the road. That's next.
She's just as sinister as the other two, but she's using the pretense of the law or the pretense of what's right or what's morally acceptable in her favor. So what she does is she manipulates the system. She
Right.
gets into people's ears. She's one step above the curb. She starts protesting against one of these zoos before they can start protesting against her. She takes
Mhm.
herself to different politicians. She invites the politicians to her zoo. She claims that she's doing all of this in the name of sanctuary. She claims that she's doing all this in the name of saving these animals. She points out all the negativity of the other people. So she gets the lens off of her and all onto these other people. And as soon as she gets the politicians in her pocket, boom, she's a sanctuary. She's the animal rights activist. She's the
And
one that's
she's
doing all
worse than
good.
the rest of them.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
Horrible.
absolutely it's just like a lot of stuff that goes on in our daily lives. It's manipulation of the legal systems, manipulation of the morality system to gain favor, to gain your way, instead of just following the law or just being moral, about anything. It's the manipulation of the systems. It's so freaking wrong.
Yeah,
Not to mention,
definitely.
there's absolutely adequate thought behind the fact that she killed her first husband.
Yeah, even though
And started this freaking thing in the first
we
place
don't
is
actually
that
get into that
her husband
next week, but yeah.
mysteriously died, and all of a sudden she's a multimillionaire or some shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, she's got this second husband that's like a freaking puppet. Yes, oh Carol, this. Oh yes, yes, Carol. She probably bought that motherfucker with the dead husband's. And then nobody could solve anything, and nobody could find anything about this murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it all is in. Last he's seen done is that done anything? It's all ended with her, and she's just go lucky. Oh man, the husband dead. He's gone. I didn't do anything. It's always this denial. I didn't murder. I didn't do anything to my husband. They think I murdered my husband. Bah, ha, ha, ha. She laughs about it. Yeah, you crazy bitch. You probably did. They said she fed him to a tiger. That's why there's no body.
But she's worse than the rest of them because she's egging everybody on. Like,
where'd we go?
Oh, I'm perfect and I'm not doing anything wrong. But have you seen the cages that she has these poor animals in? Oh my God!
Worse than Joe's, and definitely worse than Doc Antel's. They're like those cages were on those tigers' backs. They couldn't even stand up in those cages.
I know they couldn't even move. Nothing.
The first episode about why they were in cages like that. They're in cages because they were born and bred in cages, and you got to keep it some shit.
Oh no, she said that they're actually like that so that they can be taken care of until they die.
Yeah, what the hell is she talking about? Taking care until they die. If she's
that whole thing. She's running, like you said, worse conditions than he is.
Yeah.
She is a hypocrite because yes, she thinks she's saving them, but she's keeping them until they die because that's what it has to be.
I think she
knows. And she doesn't even have an official sanctuary where she's actually taking care of them properly. There are sanctuaries that do take aging animals who are like show business animals and things like that, rescue places that have hospitals and doctors and things like that, like this was her being Joe Exotic, but being it in her terms. And she wanted to make people think that he was the bad guy so that they wouldn't look at her because she was very well doing the same thing. Hell, you know what freaked me out was when the lady was talking about when he went in to interview her and all the tiger print and everything. Yes, Debbie, sociopath. And all the, but she had all the tiger print stuff and everything, like everything she did
animal heads on their head
was animal print
on their head in one episode. I was like, you crazy bitch.
And now she did, let me point this out, just to be devil's advocate. She did point out one good thing when she was talking to him about all the animal print. She said, when I go before Congress or when I go before a judge or whatever, and to talk about these laws and they see someone always wearing head to toe animal print, that's someone they remember. Now that's very true. So that is a good way to help get your bill passed or get your point across. She was very smart in that. But otherwise, this bitch was crazy as fuck.
She's absolutely crazy. She's got the same gift shop that they have. She
Yeah.
sells the same type of merchandise, got the same type of tours. It's the
She
same thing.
wants to
Literally
be
the
she
same thing.
wants to be Joe, and
Yep.
she's mad because she feels like Joe lives a better life than she does. So she
Well,
tried to
okay.
create what she could, and she can't keep up with it because she's not as famous and doesn't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get Travis introduced into the mix. Travis is probably our most tragic character in all this.
Yeah.
He comes into the mix. He's husband number 2. She's young
Wasn't he the
kid.
guy with the big hands and big feet?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, okay.
He's the one that comes into the scene. I forget where he's
That's
from.
how they introduce him, as
Yeah.
the guy with the big feet.
Yeah.
All right.
Young. He's
interjection.
really young when they first started. Huh?
Let me do an interjection before we finish. I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. If you guys like the stream, please thumb it up. Hit the like button. Make sure you share it with your friends. Subscribe. All of that, because we actually love what we're doing and we want to continue that. So the more people.
For some reason, Facebook takes us way too serious. So
Do they?
They do.
Oh yeah,
I ain't gone.
they do.
All right.
Thumbs up definitely definitely helps us. We appreciate it.
Thing, because we do have some really interesting content coming up.
Do we?
And so
we do.
Do we?
All
We
right.
have let's just tell everybody we have a really big announcement next Wednesday. Monday we're starting Asylum. So Monday, Tuesday we'll do Asylum. Wednesday we were going to take a break from Asylum just because it's such a heavy season. We're going to kind of break it up. And Wednesday we have a really big announcement for you guys, and you guys are going to love it. You're going to be super stoked and excited. And it is AHS related.
I'm starting a crowdfunding for a big Harry Potter Lego set.
Yep. And that's all going to start on Wednesday for Wednesday.
Oh, by the way, no, I got the thermometer. Thank you.
Oh, you got your package? Good. Did you get it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. The front neighbor had it yesterday.
You should have got it yesterday or day before.
Yeah, I got it yesterday.
Okay, so now we can continue. Just wanted to make sure we got it.
So Travis comes in the mix, and he's young kid from somewhere.
He's a cute young kid.
He's like 19
naive.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else, falls in love with the allure of the tigers and
the glamour, the allure, the
exoticness.
The exoticness is what it is.
Yeah.
I think they get an adrenaline rush from the exoticness of it.
Right.
Because even being within 100 feet of a big cat is adrenaline rush, because that's not something everybody does all the time, you know?
I think it's the meth. You know, when you got some young kid that likes to party, likes to go on, and all of a sudden
that could very well be it too. Definitely.
Because they said, what did they say about Travis? They said that
didn't he say something like he's forced to work, like he doesn't want to work there, and or was one of the employees or something said that?
They said
that kept him, doesn't let him leave the park and all that.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we get into Travis' episode. But they said they kept him stoned the whole time, stoned or high the whole time, so that he'll be compliant. So, and again, it's almost torture. You know, it's almost captivity that they're manipulating.
Well, and because then they showed Joe where he like literally stopped and talked to this girl who was, she was sitting on the side of the road, the bus stop, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And he says, you know, you homeless, you have nowhere to go. And he's like, well, I have somewhere or whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. And basically, you know, he goes and finds these kids who he, you know, have some type of weakness, and he takes advantage of that. He preys on that like a predator. And he takes these people in, and then, you know, he may not physically, maybe with his hands, abuse these people, but he is abusing these people.
Yeah,
all three of them are abusing their
Oh yeah, all three definitely.
Because Carol, that bitch, she doesn't have any pay for her employees.
No,
she manipulates these people as like interns to come do all her damn dirty work.
And they think they're saving the world. They think they're doing something. Then they said she finds people who are already interested in animals or going to school or things like that, or want to go to school for animals and stuff, which is understandable if it was a real rescue.
She's got no legal authority to be given any sort of educational credit to
people by putting them in different colored shirts. She doesn't pick them, but it's like, okay, you have to work, you have to be here for a year before you get like a different shirt.
Yeah.
Something else.
There's this whole segment going on.
Debbie slamming a drink and saying that bitch every time we say it.
So then you got Doc Antle.
Remember what you guys. Remember what you're unfortunately doing to our audience.
Doc Antle. He's obviously abusing his employees as well because he's running a cult. He's got a brain. So everybody's abusing him.
They basically say that Doc Andel's like, if you wanna go up in the ranks, you have to sleep with me.
They go, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's when they start talking about these girls changing their names and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy shit. Crazy.
And weird names.
Oh, yeah,
like some of them were clever and they were cute. Like, oh, that's unique. It's different. It sounded like it could be a good, unique name. But some of them were just ridiculous. Like, what?
Names. They were weird, like almost circus names.
And like then you have Joe basically traveling all over the US in this like semi, having all these people crammed in here, taking all these cats and stuff to like malls and stuff, and charging people to pet them.
Oh, are we there? Are we there now? He's already doing that. Yeah, I think he's the first three. He's doing that pretty early. He does the petting zoo, the mall tour petting zoo pretty early.
Yeah, that's all within the first 3 episodes.
Yeah,
so
good. Yeah, because with Joe, what we're gonna find is as we go through and cover this.
Well, and then you guys, we glazed over the fact, because this happened when at the first episode, I think, or maybe beginning of second episode, Joe has the employee who puts his arm in the cage and the tiger rips his arm off. Yeah, he has to go tell the audience that, hey, I'm sorry, I'll give you your money back, and he tells them what happened.
You can come back another day, but this is what happened. Yeah. We talked
and they show the footage of the dude, but I mean, they blur it out. You don't see it, which is, I'm glad. But yeah, I was like, oh my God. Because like they said, they film everything.
Yeah. And the name Scott gave himself means Lord. Yeah. And all that stuff.
Well, that's what it meant.
People are just, ugh.
He says that some weird name that means Lord in
Vagabond. Yeah.
Vagabond.
Let's see. BRT said, I suspect they drug the cats when they bring them close to the public, even the babies. Yeah. I believe that.
I believe that.
Debbie said the babies definitely look drugged, and that upset her. Oh, yeah. That upsets everybody for sure. You're right. But yeah, you're right. I think that you can see a lot of scenes where they look like that. And I think that would be the only thing that Joe would say, you're not allowed to film. I have to go in here with these. No. Okay. Listen, BRT said, I suspect they drug the cats when they bring them close to the public, even the babies. And Debbie said the babies definitely looked like they were drugged, and that really upset her.
I thought you were talking about the audience. They drugged the audience.
No.
The babies in the audience. I was like,
I wouldn't put it past these crazy fuckers. They start handing out drinks. Start going Jim Jones handing out the Kool-Aid.
I wouldn't put it past the audience either, because they're all there. Oh, this is amazing.
Right.
It's like, we're watching this for 5 minutes. And if you didn't even have the preemption and know this is batshit crazy, you spend 2 minutes and then it's batshit crazy. I don't care.
Well, but these things with these shows, how, you were saying he traveled around in the semi and everything, people really did do that, like especially the 80s and a little into the 90s, but the 80s especially was big for that. And that was when you had the big roadside attractions where families would road trip all across the country for the summer. That was the big family vacation. You see the movie Family Vacation. That's really what people did. And people would stop at these roadside attractions, like, go see the stalactites and the stalagmites, and people would go and they would stop at these petting zoos that were there and all this stuff. So it was like they always had people.
Yeah.
But these people are like dumb. They're like brainwashed. They're like, ooh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'd be like, that motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't see that he's crazy.
I told you that bitch crazy.
Mm-hmm. So Travis comes in the mix. They get married. Well, all three of them get married. That's when they have their wedding ceremonies. Once Travis is in the mix, they have a big, old, huge wedding ceremony, and everybody's like, and I believe this is even before gay marriage. I don't know when they're getting married. It was just
right. This was in 2014 when that happened.
No,
2000.
2008 was gay marriage in California. So
I know when they got married, the marriage certificate was like 2014 when they did.
that's soon. Oh, okay. Well, no,
Yeah,
it probably was legal then. Well, good on them. I don't know. Yeah, if it was legal, they had to all get divorced. But
yeah.
okay, well, good on him.
Well, yeah. How did that work though? Because there was 3 people married, and gay marriage
My
is one thing,
understanding,
but they don't let you marry multiple people. That's still
no,
illegal.
either A, none of them got married, or B, they only
It
two of
wasn't
them got married.
a real technical ceremony. It was just
My
their
guess is
ceremony.
if there was a technical ceremony, my guess is just the way the show played out is
I
that
would
he
say he married
technically married Travis.
somebody though.
Travis. That's who I would say because remember Joe gets that other chick pregnant and just goes off. And
Yeah.
with the fact that he just disappears
Things a little
and then what
icky.
happens to Travis, we won't spoil it, but what happens to Travis would seem like a more clean break from a marriage versus going into all
Yeah.
the work thing. My speculation is that it was just a show that they didn't do anything legal. But
And it
if they
wasn't
did, it was Travis.
that wasn't Joe that got the girl pregnant. It was John that got the girl
Yeah, John,
pregnant.
not Travis. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was probably
Yeah.
if there was a legal marriage, it was with Travis. I would believe. He seemed like
Yeah.
he liked Travis better anyway. He seemed like he was all wrapped up in Travis. And, Travis was like his whole world. And it's just like when he would like pull their faces into him and just like kiss him, like ugh. You could tell they didn't want to kiss him, and he's like all pulling his face into them. I'm like, this motherfucker's sick. He's a sick bastard.
Yeah.
Funny though. Funny.
Basically, yeah, this is the first 3 episodes, people.
I just want to know is Mike Gedney still here by chance? I know he hasn't commented in a while, so I want to see if he was still here because I want his opinion too, what he thought.
I don't know. I don't.
No,
think
I know. I just looked. I was just gonna say if he's there, put a comment in.
I don't think he is. I think.
But I mean, let's play it this way. Let's pretend because I know both you two have seen it. I haven't. But
Right.
so let's say you guys are right here. Episodes 1 through 3 is all you've seen. Where do you stand with like other than thinking, these people are crazy? Oh, these things, obviously you don't know about the Carol situation yet, the end one. But I mean, overall, like if you had to pick one villain of the 3 episode bunch here, who do you think with the story is the overall villain right now?
Carol. For me, just because she presents the whole morality cause of it. And
it's a toss
how
between Doc and Carol for me.
It's a toss between.
It's really hard. Because right now, right now, I mean, I know a little more, but right now, knowing only to episode 3, I feel like I know Carol's just kind of a dumb bitch.
Yeah,
right.
Slam. But
right
but Doc is like something scary.
Yeah, Doc feels evil. He feels evil.
If I'm only basing the first 3, I would have to say that Doc is more of the villain right now, even though
Yeah, Joe just would be the one you don't think. You just think he's crazy. You just think he's like this big buffoon clown.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see.
You don't necessarily agree with the guy. You don't agree with what he's doing. You don't agree with his morals or how he is, but you don't see him as, like you said, a villain. But
you just see him as this clown. Like what the?
You see Doc as more than right now.
Somebody who would talk about and make fun of, and I don't want to say make fun of people, but you know what I mean. Like people would make fun of him. People would have something to say, and that seems like the type of character he's going to be. That's where it stands so far.
Yeah.
Right.
He's very eccentric, for sure. Very 80s eccentric.
Yeah,
very, very 80s eccentric. Extremely 80s eccentric.
Even with the type of just, the materials they use in their homes, the prints they use, because even then, animal print was huge. And obviously with him, it was convenient because of what he was doing, but he was even selling the animal print underwear, which he said is his biggest seller in his gift shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Tiger King animal print underwear.
Yep. Did we get into any of the sale of these animals?
Not
first
yet.
3 episodes? Not yet.
We'll get into that next week.
He touches on it and talks about it because they show Shaquille O'Neal coming in to buy one, And
you know what?
they
Shaq's
and he
pissed.
talked about where the guy asked him, he's like, well, how much is it to buy a tiger if I were to buy one? And he said $2,000. Like right away, the guy hadn't even finished saying what he was saying. He goes, $2,000.
They didn't get heavily into it yet. They won't do that until the next two.
I tell you,
Yeah.
Shaq is pissed, and he's denying that he ever bought those tigers, and yet somebody's coming out and proving that he did buy those tigers.
Mm-hmm.
No. Regardless, I guarantee you there's been times where there's been cameras in Shaq's house and you've seen tigers. So
Yep.
he's bought tigers regardless of where he bought them from.
Yeah, but he's gone out blatantly.
He
Since
just wants to distance himself from Joe Exotic because of the fact of the documentary.
And he's pissed because apparently he didn't give his right for the documentary. So he's pissed off about that too. So.
But also, Joe's not stupid, and Joe would have had him sign a release or would tell him up front, "Hey, we're recording the whole time," because Joe's always recording.
Tigers less than Chihuahua.
We'll get into it when we get into the later episodes when actually the crimes, the real true felony crimes start evolving or start manifesting themselves. And these things are being played out on tape. It's like, talk about the Nixon tapes. This shit is absolutely incriminating. It's like
Debbie said her husband bailed after episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh really? Why?
So, the beginning, guys. This is nothing compared to what's coming up.
Oh wait, it's fun when it comes out. His kid, when we start getting into all the crimes and shit, and all the crazy shit. It's just the level of incompetence that these people have for the law, for their own self well-being, so their own self-preservation is baffling. Because even if you were somewhat sane and arguing with Joe Exotic, and you still know you're on tape, and so you're arguing these things that incriminate you, and like all of this mess, it was crazy.
It's crazy.
All the crimes and everything.
Well, and we'll get more into that next Sunday. Until then, everybody watch episode 3, 4, 5.
No, the next two we're
going to 4 and 5. 4 and 5.
4 and 5, yes. We can't remember next Sunday.
Next Sunday we'll be discussing episode 4, 5 of Tiger King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
we'll be back and we will be back tomorrow. We're going to start covering Asylum with episode 1 tomorrow.
Yes. And like we said, Monday and Tuesday will be Asylum. Wednesday, we're going to take a break from Asylum just to take a break because it's a little heavy. Wednesday, we have a big AHS announcement for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Big news on Wednesday that we will talk about.
That's what the stream will be about on Wednesday. We're gonna have some special guests on the show. Yes. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be on AHS. I gotta roll.
It's not April Fool's yet, or again,
I wish. Jeez.
So you guys join us Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday we'll be back on Asylum. Saturday will be RuPaul, and Sunday we will come back to discuss episode 4 and 5 of Tiger King.
So
until then,
that is the plan, people. All right. Mm-hmm. So everybody have a great rest.
Wait. One of the day. I always keep forgetting.
Sorry.
I don't know why I picked this one. I thought I had a connection in my brain, but I don't really know. So this is Percy Weasley's, one of Ron's older brothers, the crazy, studious one who ends up betraying the family.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It's just long, straight stick. Wait.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Or he.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Nice. That's why I like this one, because it's long and
it's simple.
Drumstick. It's exactly what it's like. It's drumstick. But like, there you go. Percy Weasley. Write it down.
Write it down.
No, you write it down.
Debbie.
It's not up to us.
Carol Baskin. That bitch.
Slam. Debbie. Slam.
Slam it, Deb.
Debbie's got it.
All right, you guys, thanks for coming out. We will be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your weekend. Everybody stay tuned.
And wrap.